Alright, one mission, and that is to inform and educate you on what is happening in the country and beyond. Good to be with you here. We hope you're having a fantastic time. This is Maisha Prime News, bringing you the top stories that are sure with no bias. But before we go into the details of our bulletin, let's have a look at our top stories tonight.
And I assure this committee that I will make whatever sacrifices that require to be made. I will stay focused until this problem is over, even if it means Honorable Naisula coming to live in the North Rift. Not for a week, not for a month. We will stay there as long as it is necessary.
Interior Cabinet Secretary nominee Kithure Kindiki vows to deal with bandits, cattle rustlers in northern Kenya, asserting that he will be ruthless while dealing with the bandits in the pastoralist communities who have become a menace and a threat to livelihood. Also tonight,
tunataka to standardize ile products ambazo tunatumia katika mijengo hii ndio tuweze kupunguza gharama ya ujenzi wa hizi manyumba.
President William Ruto presides over the official opening of affordable housing project in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. Plus,
tunaeleza wakulima ya kwamba wajaribu wasije wakawa watu ambao ni kama ukiumwa na kichwa unanunua dawa ya kuzuia maumivu.
Kila mwaka karibu bilioni 8 kila mwaka ambao tunapata. Bahati mbaya ni kwamba bilioni 2 peke yake ndio inaingizwa kwa mambo ya maendeleo.
Siaya Governor James Orengo challenges Siaya residents to embrace agribusiness so as to boost food security and tackle rampant poverty. Right, welcome. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. The second group of President Ruto's cabinet nominees had to explain their sources of wealth as they appeared before the National Assembly's Committee on Appointments, while some had a relatively easy time explaining their net worth and how they got it. Others had a slightly difficult time convincing the committee that what they declared were the right figures. Sharon Chepchumba now reports on the declared wealth that sets the stage for the multi-millionaires cabinet.
Any member asking questions here are questions of the committee.
On the second day of vetting of nominees to President William Ruto's cabinet end.
As a matter of interest for the committee and the country, what is your net worth?
Was the most common question asked of all the nominees, and the answer of that question are the requirements of vetting process. But for the cabinet nominees, the scrutiny was that much more magnified. According to the nominees' self-centered statements, their wealth varies from billions to hundreds of millions shillings.
My net worth is 544 million.
544 million.
Shillings, not dollars.
Kenya shillings?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, because Tanzanian shillings also could be different.
Professor Kithure Kindiki, who if approved will become the Interior Cabinet Secretary, places his net worth at 544 million shillings, spread across investment in shares and real estate.
So what are your current and anticipated sources of income?
At the moment, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practice law. I am also a business person running a number of businesses. SMEs, and I'm also a consultant for local and international organizations.
The man who could become the next country treasury cabinet secretary, Njuguna Ndung'u, stated that he is worth 950 million shillings.
I've registered my net worth as roughly about 950 million.
950 million. Kenya shillings or dollars?
Kenya shillings. Currently I'm earning in dollars, but everything is translated in Kenya shillings. 950,000.
950
million.
Kenya shillings.
What has been quoted before is not the case. Nevertheless, if you look at what you've quoted, family home, farm with house, holiday home, basically those are homes. A total, whether it's a family home, holiday home, leisure home, they are homes. The total is 400 million. Somebody will ask, before even going to the rest, out of 941, 400 goes to homes. Is this the advice you are going to give to Kenyans, that half of your health is a home? Because that's where management of resources and the gauge to how you can run our economy, it starts with you as an individual. You look at the list of the wealth. I don't know whether you came here by walking, because there's no car listed. But according to my knowledge, a car is an asset. And this is a person Kenyans wants to see exercising the highest epitome of financial management. And it starts with what you present to this committee. I want you to clarify, even these shares, piece of agriculture land, how many acres? Investment, financial instrument, what is the shares or dividends? Investment in through family company, 400 million. What is it that is 400 million? Shares in a bank, which bank? Imperial, which one is this bank?
The only female nominee who was vetted on Tuesday picks to head public service, gender and affirmative action ministry, Maisha says she's worth 100 million shillings. She stated that her pension from being former Kilifi member of parliament was her source of income.
Himaya yako ni pesa ngapi?
I'm worth 100 million.
100 million.
When tasked to break down her wealth, Jumwa said her houses in Nairobi and Malindi are worth 85 million shillings.
So I worth 100 million. I have a house in Malindi and in Nairobi. Those two combined are 85 million, and the rest are side hustles. I'm a hustler.
Yeah, I know, but what is the side hustle you're doing?
There might be so many things, Bwana Junet. Side hustles, I mean.
No, you see, Madam CS nominee, the figure that you have given is on record.
Yes.
We have shared with the committee. You have attached it to your documents. So it is good for you to clarify that the house in Malindi and the one in Nairobi are 85. The other 15 is what? Is it a motorcycle? Because hustlers use motorcycle. Yeah.
Yes, I have a car too, and the rest was my salaries, which I stopped earning on September.
Jumwa also defended her KCSE grade, saying she remains a role model to many girls.
It wasn't easy, even for me to score that those marks that you were seeing them there, because I had to take myself to class after dropping in from 2, struggling as a private candidate, and because I took it to myself as a challenge that I have to be better and serve the community better or serve the society better. So I think I am not even shy because it is in the public domain, but I think that is not a qualification to judge Maisha on sitting in the cabinet. I think the person who nominated me to this position did his due diligence and see that I am fit if given, if approved by Parliament. And, I represent many who today are looking Aisha Juma as a role model, that you can have a D or a D minus and get some.
She also reiterated that she does not own a gun and has never been involved in murdering anyone. Juma was charged alongside her bodyguard Geoffrey Okuto in 2020 over Gumbao's murder.
On the second issue of the murder case, Mr. Chairman, first I want to empathize with the family. Indeed, there was a loss of life. It was unfortunate. But again, Mr. Chairman, as I have said, I am clear in my mind that I never shot anyone because I don't own a gun. I'm not a gun holder, and I don't know even the names of the guns in this country. The weapons that this country possesses, I don't know the names.
Davis Kimtai Chirchir CS nominee for Energy and Petroleum says he's worth 482 million shillings. Chirchir mentioned that the accumulation of his wealth was mainly from his farm and rental assets.
In the criteria for vetting and approval is 482 million 200.
Tabulated as?
Tabulated as farms in Olengurwane, Kipsonoi, a house in Spring Valley at 95, my current residence, some rental property in Westlands in Matundu, valued at 50 million, vehicles, bank account, and investment in a family tea value addition business called Chabango EPZ Tea Company at 185 million, a total of 40.
Moses Kuria, who if approved will become the Trade Cabinet Secretary, places his net worth at 750 million shillings.
My financial net worth, Mr. Chair, is 750 million shillings. My net worth is comprising of real estate development and shares held in unlisted companies in my business concerns, in manufacturing, in fintech, and in energy sector.
The next batch of 5 nominees will face the committee and will be expected to equally declare their wealth on Wednesday. Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Sharon Chepchumba.
Thank you, Chepchumba Sharon. And still related to that, the Cabinet Secretary nominee for Treasury, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, was on Tuesday put to task by legislators to explain claims that he presided over the collapse of banks during his tenure as the Central Bank of Kenya's CBK governor. The MPs in the Committee on Appointments wanted to know what he did or failed to do, leading to a weak shilling when he was in charge. National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah specifically asked Ndung'u to explain why several banks, including Chase Bank and Imperial Banks, collapsed when he served as the CBK governor. Let's listen in.
During my time, there is no bank that collapsed. I was governor of the Central Bank of Kenya from March 2007 to the beginning of March in 2015. That does not mean, Mheshimiwa Majority Leader Bwana Kimani Ichung'wah, that there were no problems. There were problems. But you have to make sure that you bring in or you develop new solutions and new interventions to save the market. And that's what we did. There were several mergers, but those mergers were actually geared towards preventing any collapse of the banks, because market situations do change. Some projections in marketplace can change. And so the regulator must know what to do. A regulator is not someone who is waving an axe in the market. A regulator is a person who is trying to understand the market, help develop the market, and the third one is regulate and protect the market. So those 3 dimensions are very, very important for a regulator. And that is what I did for most of the time that I was there.
Away from that, Samburu West Member of Parliament Naisula Lesuda on Tuesday broke into tears during the vetting of Interior Cabinet Secretary nominee Kithure Kindiki at the National Assembly. Professor Kindiki appeared before the 15-member committee on appointments to be grilled for the post, during which the legislator questioned his plan to end insecurity in the troubled northern Kenya region. The MP revealed how on Monday, as she was going about the vetting exercise, she got a call informing her that criminals from Samburu West constituency's neighbor Tiati ambushed herders, injuring one person and driving away the cattle.
Thank you. We should emulate that batch. Naisola, follow suit with one question.
Thank you, Chair, but I'll request for your indulgence because what I'm about to ask is something that I know many of us share in this committee. And I constantly get the feeling that office holders responsible with matters security don't really understand or even are willing to comprehend the pain and losses caused by insecurity in the north. Cattle rustling is seen as a tradition and a people's backward culture. Kindly allow me to put this into context, and actually I pray for God's strength as I present this. Just yesterday, when I was undertaking this very important national duty, I received a text that criminals from my neighboring constituency, that is Tiati, ambushed herders, injured one person, and drove away with cattle. As if that was not enough, the criminals continue to be bolder by the day. This morning, they attacked again. As we speak, they have killed one person. 2 people are missing, one who is actually my staff, and they've stolen goods. On a normal day as a leader, I would have dropped everything, including this assignment, and rushed to my constituency to condole, bury, and have local security meetings. Then back to Nairobi, go to OP, we get a chopper, we go for security meetings, and we come back to Nairobi. Calm is restored, then reiteration attacks, most likely from my community, will take place, and the cycle continues. And this is the daily life of a typical pastoralist living along the border of another pastoralist county. The only time as a country we behave shocked or surprised is when we lose our security personnel, and only when we lose more than 2 or 3 lives. When will one life be too many to lose in the northern parts of this country? It should never be lost to us that at one point we lost over 42 police officers, and the only thing we have to show in Baragoi is a monument with the names of these fallen heroes. As a leader, I don't run away from my responsibility and have been consistent and diligent. But nominee, I am tired. I am honestly tired, and Kenyans are tired. What do you intend to do differently from your predecessors, away from the usual rhetoric and threats? Perhaps you need to come and live in Kurkur, Pora, Longewan, Losuk, incognito for only 1 week. Come and stay there. What strategy or are your thoughts do you have to end this menace once and for all, so that as a leader I can execute my other national duties and not concern myself only on matters security? Thank you.
Thank you. Gikaria, Professor, I've allowed that emotional discourse because of the peculiar circumstances of the member.
And more than 200,000 houses earmarked for low-income earners will be built every year. President William Ruto said the project will create at least 2 million jobs. This, he explained, will help address the unemployment crisis facing the youth, in addition to providing proper shelter for everyone. He spoke on Tuesday in Ongata Rongai, where he launched 734 apartments targeting ordinary Kenyans. President William Ruto noted that the government identifies affordable housing as a priority, adding that his administration will work with counties to ensure most Kenyans benefit. The president later addressed wananchi at the Ongata Rongai shopping center.
Wanaweza kupata mahali pa kuishi. Na jambo la pili, tunataka to standardize ile products ambazo tunatumia katika mijengo hii, ndio tuweze kupunguza gharama ya ujenzi wa hizi manyumba. To standardize milango, to standardize madirisha, to standardize all the other products. I think the ministry tells me we have 69 products that will be standardized in an effort to bring down the cost of construction so that more Kenyans can be home owners. Nyinyi mnanielewa? So tunataka tushirikiane hivyo, na kwa hivyo mimi nimekuja hapa just to confirm to private landowners, to private developers, that the government of Kenya is willing and available to work with you as so long as you are in the affordable housing realm. We are going to work with you on matters to do with mortgage, in mobilizing Kenyans to own the homes you are building, because we want this program to be a joint program between the public and the private sector, because that's the surest way of us succeeding.
Si mimi nitapitia hapa, mtaniuliza, munipatie 4 months, maji mtakuwa naye hapa Rongai ya kutosha. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Mimi najua vile vile hatuna sewage hapa Ongata Rongai. Si ndio? Hiyo mpango ya sewage tayari nimeanzisha, kwa sababu mji wa Rongai, mji wa Kiserian, mji wa Ngong lazima tuweke sewage system ndio iwe city, iwache kuwa kama kijiji. Si namna hiyo? Na tuko na hii mambo ya barabara hapa, tulikubaliana barabara ya kwenda mpaka Nazarene University, barabara mpaka inafika pale. Si ni kweli? Hiyo barabara nitaishughulikia. Unanielewa? Hiyo barabara nitaishughulikia. Na hiyo barabara mimi naelewa, hata sihitaji kuelezwa. I know. Tunaelewana? Tuko pamoja? Vile vile hapa Ongata Rongai mimi naelewa ya kwamba kuna mambo mengine ambayo lazima tuyashughulikie, hasa wale wanaenda kufanya kazi kule Nairobi. Iko na msongamano mkubwa sana wa jam. Watu wanatumia 2-3 hours kufika Nairobi. Si ni kweli? Si ni kweli? Na tulikubaliana na nyinyi hiyo jambo lazima nitatue. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Si mnajua hata mimi ni mtu ya Rongai hapa? Mko na habari? Hata kama hamna habari na muktasari hamjapata.
Right, on Wednesday, Maisha Television Kenya will be introducing a new education bulletin known as Masomo News Live in a bid to cover education news across the country as a move to expand the education segment as we highlight developments, challenges, and what is trending in the education sector. Let's have a look.
This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susi Masava.
Walter
Usono, Shem Milembo.
The voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV now. Every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized society through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV.
Well, be ready for that segment on Wednesday. The Presidential Working Party on Education Reform in Kenya has invited parents and other education stakeholders to submit their review on the CBC In a notice dated October 18th, the task force led by Professor Raphael Munavu stated that it had begun its mandate on reviewing the reforms for the country's education system as assigned by President Ruto. Kenyans were urged to submit their views before the November 18th deadline. Apart from CBC, the task force is also calling for views on the management of bursaries, deployment of teachers, and assessment and examination models in schools. And Siaya Governor James Orengo has challenged Siaya residents to embrace agribusiness so as to boost food security and tackle rampant poverty. Orengo lamented that though the county and the entire Nyanza region were endowed with a good climate and fertile soils, little has been done to exploit the resources for the betterment of the society. Stephen Lubanga with more.
Siaya residents have been urged to take advantage of the good climate in Nyanza region and plant crops that will boost food security. Speaking during this year's World Food Celebration at Simero village in Ugunja sub-county, Governor James Orengo said that it was a pity that the county was endured with numerous rivers and streams that empty into Lake Victoria. Water that is later used by River Nile basin countries upstream to produce agricultural products that are later sold back to Kenya.
Ama mwezi kujitosheleza kwa mambo ya uzalishaji ya chakula. Kamwe hamwezi kuwa nchi huru. Kamwe. Hata county ambao inategemea usaidizi kutoka kwa serikali ama nchi zingine, hatuwezi kuwa na ule heshima ambayo tumesema katika taifa letu, wananchi wapewe heshima na nchi yetu pia ipewe heshima. Kenda nchi ya Misri kuna hali ya ukavu, hakuna mvua, hata mvua ikija ni mvua kidogo. Wanategemea hii maji, mnaona hata hii kidogo kutoka Uoroya hapa. Ukifunga hiyo maji isifike kwa Nzoia, ifike mpaka ziwa la Victoria, watu wa Misri watapiga kelele zaidi. Na unajua Kenya ina agreement na nchi hizo za Nile, hasa Misri, ambao zile maji ambao tunawacha inaenda hivi kutoka sehemu zetu, ndio inawezesha wa Misri kupata chakula. Tena ni aibu kubwa sana, kwa sababu singine unaweza kwenda kwa supermarket unapata machungwa na mambo mengine ambayo zinatoka katika nchi ya Misri.
Orengo, who was flanked by his deputy William Oduor, said efforts must be made to revive the cotton farming and other cash crops such as Robusta coffee that was once grown in the parts of the country.
Zile uzalishaji ambao tulikuwa nafanya zamani ya kilimo biashara. Zamani tulikuwa na pamba, tulikuwa na machinery hapa katika county ya Siaya. Kulikuwa wakati mwingine hapa Ugunja, sehemu zingine za Ugunja, mpaka Ugenya, mpaka Game. Kulikuwa wakulima wa kahawa ya Robusta. Kulikuwa wakati mwingine pia ilikuwa tumeanza kidogo ukulima wa miwa, ili zile factories za kusaga miwa hiyo sukari ipate mavuno ya miwa.
Orengo said the country will soon rely on central Kenya for fish as the stock in Lake Victoria continues to dwindle and a slow pace of adoption of fish farming in the area.
Kila mahali ambao kuna uvuvi unapata watu kutoka katika sehemu hii, mkoa wa Nyanza kwa jumla ndio wavuvi. Hata ukienda Mwanza utapata watu wa Siaya ndio wavuvi kule. Lakini aibu sasa ni kwamba itakuwa ni miaka 5-10 ambayo samaki ambao tunakula za tilapia mtakuwa tunaenda Sagana kutafuta hiyo samaki, kwa sababu idadi ya samaki katika ziwa la Victoria imekuwa duni sasa. Na ile ni kama ukulima, kwa sababu wanafanya zile ponds ambao tumeona hapa. Unafanya tu kwa boma kama hii boma ya Nyayala. Mtu amekaa kwa boma, anazalisha samaki, ana ng'ombe ya gredi, na pengine ana kanusu eka ya kahawa ama ukulima, biashara ambao wanafanya ambao inawezesha wajisimamie kama binadamu.
Orengo said his government will employ more agricultural extension officers to serve the residents and increase food production. For Maisha Prime News, I'm Lubanga Steven.
Deputy Governor.
Well, that story there takes us our first commercial break, but coming up in our second segment.
Na kwa bahati mbaya tumepata ujumbe kwamba umbwa kutoka kwa kampuni jirani lilimvamia, kumuuma mara kadhaa na kumuua.
Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
The classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat. I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you. Wait. No. The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameweza kuwapa uhuru watoto wao
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha Television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it.
This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present, we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susi Masaba.
Walter
Usolo, Shem Bilembwa.
The voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized societies through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV.
A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey. But a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Mumbo Bushebi and Rita Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is live at Hannah's.
Barcelona is live from Damascus.
We're on the doorstep. For Maisha TV.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information.
Check by all available means our territory.
Parliament must be careful.
Maisha Prime News, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Trusted, unbiased, authoritative. The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Take away the noise.
We are here to inform and educate you on all that is happening around you.
The Fury. Hello and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. The fighting voices, the distortions, the color and the flashy effects. But most of all, you can take away the lights. The misrepresentation that seeks to pull us apart, and then you can finally find out what is actually happening. And when you find that, then you will find Maisha Prime News, trusted, unbiased, authoritative.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Right, welcome back. You're watching Maisha Prime News. The Kenya Union of Special Needs Education Teachers has raised concern about the implementation of the competency-based curriculum CBC, alleging that the teachers are not adequately trained, as Nerima Wekesa reports. Thank you so much, Nerima Wekesa. And Fafi MP Salah Yakub has challenged organizations operating in his constituency to up their game in terms of assisting the community, saying that their activities must be well coordinated so that their impact can be felt. Yakub regretted that several organizations were only there on paper but could not be felt on the ground.
there is a gap. The PP1 and the PP2 have been left out by the TSC. There is nobody who is taking care of the teachers in the P1 and PP2 classes. So they also need to be trained on how best they can implement CBC. Teachers need to be trained in terms of how they can identify those particular learners so that the talents of the learners can be tailored towards what they are good at.
Tungeomba mtaala uangaliwe vizuri ili pia washirika wetu waweze kutokuumizwa na jambo lolote ambalo serikali imeanzisha. Ni maombi yetu kwamba tuhusishwe na tuulizwe, na tutashukuru mambo haya ikitendeka.
Moving on, one person is injured after being shot twice in the hand and is receiving treatment at the Samburu Referral Hospital. The thieves disappeared with 40 cows and 40 goats. The Deputy County Commissioner of Samburu, Titus Omanyi, said that police officers are already looking for the invaders. Omanyi has asked residents to be calm and let the police deal with the invaders.
Wajambazi walikuja kitu kama saa 9 hivi, walinipata nikiwa peke yangu. Mimi sikuona wakikuja. Nilistokea tu risasi wakinipiga risasi, wakipiga mafirimbi hapo. Lakini nikisikia wako wengi sana, kitu kama 20 and above. Sasa wamenipiga marisasi, nikajifanya nimekufa. Hii risasi ya mkono nikajiweka damu hapa. Wamekuja wamenipora wakanitupa wakaenda.
Hakuna amani huko kwetu. Mpaka leo marisasi ililia mpaka usiku. Kuna mbuzi ilianda pia. Na hatujui idadi ni ngapi. Mifugo yetu tunategemea sana. Kwa masomo ni ng'ombe tunasomesha sana sisi. Hasa sisi wa Samburu. Hakuna kitu kingine tunategemea, ni ng'ombe tu.
We appeal to the Samburu residents and the Pokots residing in the valley there to maintain peace and avoid the retaliation spirit, because we are doing everything possible to pacify the communities and recover the lost animals and goats.
And cattle breeders in Kajiado County are afraid of losing all their livestock due to the severe drought, which has caused a lack of food and water and destroyed more than 50% of the livestock in the county. The breeders say that despite losing almost half of their cattle, the price of cattle continues to fall, while livestock burdened by drought are sold for 1,000 shilling.
Mimi nilikuwa na ng'ombe 20 na 10 zimekufa na ile 10 ilibaki, ndio hii leo nimeleta soko. Ninauza yote kwa sababu ya kiangazi.
Tunapoangalia sasa hivi ng'ombe wanaelekea kudidimia ama kupungua kwa kiasi kwa sababu ya ukame, na jambo hilo linahatarisha vile maisha ya wale ambao ni Wamasai.
Ng'ombe mbili ndio hii nimeshindwa gusa. Hakuna mtu anataka hii. Najaribu gusa nashindwa. Na ingine inakufa kabisa naisha.
Watoto anataka pesa ya shule, nikaleta ng'ombe mbili na pesa sahi naona hiyo ng'ombe anakuja ni 1,600 tu. Na watoto anataka zaidi 30,000.
Kienda kwa shopping ya duka nakuta kama unga unauziwa zaidi ya shilingi 200. Kijaribu kwenda kununua ya ng'ombe naye pia hiyo zaidi ya 3,000. Kiangazi kiendelea hivi na uchumi uko juu hivi, watu wataishi namna gani?
Utapata kwamba kuna mtu alikuwa na ng'ombe zaidi 1,000 na utapata kwamba sasa hivi ana chini ya 100.
Ng'ombe ikiisha pia watu itaisha, sababu hapa hakuna kilimo, hakuna biashara nyingine yenye watu wanaendelesha.
Otherwise kama serikali ingetusaidia tupate maboreholes, watu wafanye agriculture vile inavyowezekana, hiyo ndio sasa tuko naye. Sababu ile wasiwasi tuko naye ni kama kiangazi itafika mwaka ujao, hakuna kitu itabaki.
And a 23-year-old man from Nairobi County was attacked by security dogs, and it is alleged that dogs mauled him to death on 10th of October 2022. Jonathan Lelenguia is said to have reported to his place of work at night as a night guard when the hungry dogs from an adjacent company attacked him, leaving him dead. The family of the deceased now want justice for their kin, noting that no one has so far been arrested.
Leo hii tumeungana na familia ya Jonathan Lelenguia ambaye ni Mkenya mwenye alikuwa anafanya kazi ya askari ama watchman kwenye kampuni moja hapa Mombasa Road, na kwa bahati mbaya tumepata ujumbe kwamba umbwa kutoka kwa kampuni jirani lilimvamia, kumuuma mara kadhaa na kumuua. Katika postmortem report, hizo umbwa zilimuuma kwenye kichwa, zikamuuma kwenye miguu, zikamuuma kwenye limbs za chini, na kwa sababu ya ile bleeding, jamaa alikufa wakati alipofikishwa hospitali. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema kwamba hizi umbwa hazikuwa zenye hii kampuni yenye jamaa alikuwa anafanyia, bali zilikuwa za kampuni jirani. Lakini kampuni jirani, wakati uko na umbwa za aina hiyo, kwa nini usiweke fence that can guard as a security buffer? Why do you put a short fence na unajua uko na umbwa hatarini? Ya pili, pia tumeona kwamba katika the crime scene, kampuni yenyewe ambao umbwa zake zimeua huyu kijana sasa zimeinterfere na crime scene na zikaweka atola fence. Kwa hivyo hiyo tunasema is interference with the crime scene, and we are demanding that the investigative agency come to this issue and arrest these individuals who are trying to interfere with the crime scene. Hakuna yoyote ambaye ameitwa na hata kufunguliwa mashtaka kwa ajili ya haya mauaji. Jambo lingine, pia tuko na familia hapa vile nawaona, na wamelia wakisema kwamba wenzao ambao pia walikuwa wanafanya kazi kama maskari pale wanahujumiwa, wananyamazishwa na mapolisi na wenye kampuni ili wasiseme ukweli ambao walishuhudia wenyewe.
Sasa tulishangaa sana kusikia ndugu yetu alifariki ikiwa na mainjari ya umbwa. Kwa hiyo mahali yenye ndio alikuwa anafanya kazi, tuliongea na jamaa mbeleni, wakasema iko umbwa yenye iko hatari kwa hiyo kampani. Hiyo kampani inaitwa Swami. Sasa yeye kulingana na mimi kupigiwa simu kufariki kwake, nisikia ameuawa na maumbwa. Sasa kuja kwa hii Maisha niliona ya kwamba jamaa yenyewe aliumizwa sana. Sababu jamaa kuna mainjari mkono, ameuma mkono, nyama hakuna, kichwa ameshikwa huko koo, miguu kuna maalama kabisa. Sasa sisi kama familia tunanilia haki ya kijana yetu.
Bwana on Monday tarehe 10, alafu akapelekwa hospitali. He passed wakati alikuwa anapelekwa hospitali. So tukakuja leo hapa kufanya postmortem yake, na pia tulipeana ripoti kwa polisi na DCI. Alafu mpaka saa hii hatuna ripoti yoyote ambayo imetolewa kuhusu hiyo kesi. Na pia tulikuwa tunaomba serikali to pay justice. We only want justice to be done, and then sasa familia ipate haki yao kulingana na kenye ilifanyika.
A shipment of wheat from Ukraine has arrived at the port of Mombasa. Ambassador of Ukraine in the country, Andriy Pravednik, has said that the 54,000 tons will help the nation deal with food shortages.
You're right. The President, William Ruto, also mentioned that one of his goals is to make Kenya self-sustained on food security and to minimize the imports of food. And one of the good examples, wheat. You grow wheat in Kenya, but for a variety of reasons, the amount of wheat you grow is not enough for Kenya. And we have an expertise in that. And I know at least 2 Ukrainian companies willing to come, and they've been part of that Ukrainian-Kenyan business forum last week, which actually ready to come here to help Kenyans to grow better wheat, to grow more wheat. One of the companies is called Eversem, producing the high quality seeds, not only wheat seeds, barley seeds, wheat seeds, corn seeds, because I am not an agrarian, but from what I know, it's important the quality of seed, because if the quality of seed is not extremely good, then the crop will not be good. Then the second phase is use of different agricultural techniques for the wheat and for the maize or for the barley to grow better.
Right, folks, let's just take another short commercial break. More news coming up. Stay tuned.
This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susi Masaba.
Walter Usolo, Shem Milembo.
The voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized society through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV.
Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms. Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information. The classes were in a poor condition. Cultured programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you. Wait.
No. The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameenda kuwapa uhuru watoto wao
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha Television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your world of Maisha is getting an exciting makeover. We're giving your channel a dedicated touch to enhance your viewing experience. Finding what you want and loving it has never been this easy.
We build your capacity. The problem is leadership.
My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Welcome home to your dedicated channel, where you choose it, watch it, and love it. Najivunia kuwa Mkenya. Na ninajali matukio yanayojiri nchini Kenya na ulimwengu mzima. Natazama runinga ya Maisha ili nipate habari kamili. Naichagua, naitazama na ninaipenda. Maisha TV ni bora.
Engage with us on Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE.
Let me tell you, when they give you a very good deal, okay, look for the hidden charges.
Yeah.
Period. Forget about the figures that you're seeing. Just look for the hidden charges. It is his prerogative to have a conversation with chiefs and sub-chiefs. It's just, so if you ask him not to have a close relationship with them, it's like asking a doctor not to speak to nurses.
The big question is, are women experiencing gender inequality? The male counterparts are being treated, so it's okay. Women have really been discriminated.
Tobias Hissa is my name. I'm the principal of Bungoma DB School.
The principal of Banga Mixed Secondary School.
Ni mwalimu mkuu wa shule ya watoto walemavu ya Nalondo.
Dr. Godfrey Murunga, the fourth principal of Kisiwa DTI.
I'm Zadok Munanga, the manager for Kaimosi Friends Vocational Training Center.
This is Bushangala Secondary School.